All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily. My name is Jackson. That light brightness is a little weird. My name is Jackson. Welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, where we post daily Houston Rockets content. So be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button if you enjoy it. Okay, now that that's out of the way here, um, it's the off season, right? It's the off season for the Houston Rockets, and for not great at math here. What is it going to be? 26 teams at the time of this recording. It might be 27. It's 27 teams. None of this matters in this video. The point is the Houston Rockets offseason has been underway for quite some time now, and we're revisiting the rumors of James Harden coming to Houston. That happened, what was it, like around February, around the trade deadline or all-star break or whichever it was. I've voiced my concerns for bringing James Harden over to the Houston Rockets time and time again. Paying a 34-year-old who's never technically won anything of value is the wrong word because he's won MVPs. I'm not trying to go at James Harden here. In fact, if James Harden was going to take less than a max contract, like if James Harden wanted to sign for $120 million with the Houston Rockets for 4 years, sure, that works for me. But the bottom line is this. The Houston Rockets have barely over $60 million of cap space. That's a ton of money to spend. All right. James Harden most likely will deny or decline his player option and enter unrestricted free agency. So the rumor mill is either the Houston Rockets trade for James Harden or they sign James Harden. The contingency to all of this is James Harden is seeking a max contract, which would equate to a 4-year, $200 million contract for a about to be a 34-year-old player who just crumbled like a cookie in many playoff games, as he usually does. But once again, this isn't a jab at James Harden here. If James Harden had won one championship, especially if it was with Houston, maybe we could have the conversation for bringing him over for $200 million over 4 years. I'm not good at math, so understand if you guys aren't good at math either. That's $50 million a year. It's $50 million a year. Now, the reason I'm making this video here is because the Houston Rockets have the 4th pick in the draft, and they're slated to take Amen Thompson. I would gladly take Amen Thompson. I think having a point guard trio of guys like Amen Thompson, Kevin Porter Jr., and Patrick Beverly, I think it would be super beneficial to the Houston Rockets. In fact, I'm heavily in favor of them drafting number 4 as opposed to trading it away for a player like James Harden. It doesn't necessarily have to be James Harden, but, we're in the offseason right now. And it's a lot of speculation. A lot of it is hot air. Keep that in mind. I love James Harden. James Harden, along with Swaggy, is one of the reasons I started making daily Houston Rockets content a couple of years ago. I would love to see James Harden back in a Houston Rocket uniform. I want to get that out of the way because even if they sign him to, a $201 million contract over 4 years at 34, going on to 38 by the time the contract's over, even if the Rockets did that, I'd welcome him with open arms because James Harden's that dude. The big thing I'm seeing on social media right now, and I'm not quite sure, I try and stay off Twitter, I try and stay off social media, so I'm not quite sure what the dialogue is looking like. A lot of people, or I should say a lot of Rockets fans are saying, James Harden gets a bad rap as far as being a teammate. Personally, I've never really seen that. I cover the NBA. We do the daily NBA show every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to everyone who's come through. I don't think there's ever been a James Harden slander from a previous teammate or from a previous coach. Us Rocket fans, we know this. We go back a couple of years ago when Houston traded James Harden because James Harden wanted a trade. And all we have to do to understand why James Harden wanted a trade was we just look at the roster. All you have to do is look at the roster. John Wall, PJ Tucker, Christian Wood, Eric Gordon. If the year was 2015, we might have something. We might have something with John Wall, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, and James Harden as our big four. Unfortunately, the year wasn't 2015, 2016 era. It was what, 2020? Listen, man, I don't know what's going to happen with James Harden. In fact, he might be a Rocket. All signs, if you just look at NBA media, James Harden is pretty much practically right now a Houston Rocket. Once again, I'm perfectly fine with that. If it requires us giving up the fourth round pick or a player like KJ Martin Jr., I'm just very skeptical with it. And the reason being is there's players named Jalen Green. There's players named Jabari Smith Jr. There's players named Alperen Şengün, Tari Eason that I'm trying to pay money to. If they're going to bring us wins, if they're going to bring us championships, if they're going to improve our team, I'm trying to pay them. I get it, man. There's a lot of slander outside of Rockets Nation on the Houston Rockets. And it's unfair, man. It's very heavily biased. I've never quite understood it. Every time I've been to Houston, shout out to Jorge if he's watching this video. Like Rocket fans, the Rocket culture, Houston culture it's almost uncomprehendable. I can't even really describe or explain it. It's a loving family. And so I want to just reiterate, hammer home the point. If the Rockets were to actually sign James Harden, or if they were to do a sign and trade and give up the number 4 pick and, Tari Eason and KJ Martin Jr. and Jayshawn Tate or whatever it is, if the Rockets think that's in their best interest, go ahead and do it, man. I think James Harden's a great teammate. I've never played with James Harden. As you can see here, I'm in my kitchen. That's my big ick right now is people going at the Rockets going for James Harden, and people are like trying to turn it into a person thing. I'm in the stance where, James Harden, went to Vegas in the second round of the playoffs this past season, or maybe it was the first round, whatever it is. Honestly, I don't even really care about that because once again, no former teammate, no former coach has ever been like, James, or what the hell are you doing here? Everybody has their vices. It's just more financial from me. It's just more from the fan GM mind of mine where it's like, why really would we sign a 34-year-old, technically non-winner to a $200 million contract when you have a couple of soon-to-be rookie extensions coming up in Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün, and then even further down the road, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, hopefully our number 4 pick. I just don't think the risk is worth the reward here. I'd rather go in the approach of getting a guy like Cam Johnson, getting a guy like Harrison Barnes, getting a guy like Brook Lopez, getting a guy like Patrick Beverly, and just filling out this team with more sturdy veterans. We can go through this upcoming season, hopefully be in the playoff hunt, and see what we have in year 3 of Jalen Green, see what we have in year 3 of Alperen Şengün, see what we have in year 2 of Jabari Smith Jr., see what we have in guys like Tari Eason. You can even throw Usman Garuba's name in there, KJ Martin Jr., Tata Washington, our number 4 pick. I think our second first-round pick will definitely be traded, and I think that's the right route here. But, I'm not trying to rant, and this is a rant video. But if, once again, if James Harden wanted a $30 to $35 million contract over 3 or 4 years, I'm more inclined. But he wants $50 a year for over $200 million for 4 years. Personally, I wouldn't make the move. All right, that's just me. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Sorry for this rant here. I'm trying to get more videos out for you guys on Houston Rockets Daily. That's it. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. Most importantly, drop some comments down below. Peace.